Greetings. I don't really know how to start this video, so this is just an off-the-cuff, sort of thrown together video regarding my time with Pokemon Azurite and Sleepy Jirachi. I will be posting links in the description for any resources that you might need. This is completely unplanned. I'm going to start by saying this is not a canceling attempt. It very well might seem like that, but I guarantee you this is not a canceling attempt. This is just me being frustrated and fed up with all sorts of crap that has gone on with that game and the dev team behind it. Some people think, well, aren't you over it? It was like, no, I was a dev. I'm going to be over it when they're continuing to profit off my misery. So anyway, for a little bit of context, Pokemon Azurite, also known as Project Azurite, is a fan game that's been in development hell and still is and probably will be forevermore be in development hell since, oh heck, I don't even know, like, I joined when X and Y was a new generation. Like, Swirlix was my favorite Pokemon right then because I had an ass blog on Tumblr, I remember, and I thought, oh hey, here's this cool Pokemon website that is making a game. And since I had dabbled in making Pokemon cries, like fan-made Pokemon cries, I decided I would apply and see where that got me. Boy howdy, was that a mistake in my life. So I got in contact with someone, I assumed it was Cactus, one of the older devs who's on my side of the story now. Yeah, it was not pleasant going. I made a few cries for the starters over many attempts, with QB, the fire starter, being quite difficult to please Sleepy Jirachi with. She's the lead developer of the entire project. So when someone says, don't show anything, we want to surprise the players of this game, you assume that they want to do it because, oh, it's new stuff. They'll be enjoying it more if they don't know what they're getting into. And that makes some sense. But the amount of secrecy we were required to perform was absolutely ridiculous. Like, we weren't allowed to show anything. And like, people would come in and come and go and be like, hey, can we download the game? And Sleepy was adamant that we don't get a demo going. Because there will be no demo. The game is still in progress. It'll be ready when it's ready, stuff like that. That's not actually what was happening, but I was too naive back then to be able to realize it. So let's fast forward quite a ways, like maybe 6 years in advance. The project's not still out, and to clarify, it's still not out as of now, this video. But let me just be real here. 10 years plus to release a video game that is a fan-made version of a intellectual property by Nintendo and Game Freak, i.e. Pokemon, that's excessive. You do not take that long just to release a game just because you think it needs all the polish in the world. No, it's not your property for one, and if it was, that's excessive. Making fans wait for something that could theoretically not be in the game, like a Pokemon or a feature. And boy, did we have feature creep, but I'll be getting to that. So, about 6 or maybe 5-ish years into my tenure on Azurite, I asked Sleepy, hey, are we ever going to have this done? My friends want to know, am I wasting my time here? And she said, well, Blade, I'm not making this game for your friends. I went by Vajra then. If you wanted to have any proof, I have more proof in the description. But she's like, Vajra, I'm not making this game for your friends. And then almost immediately she revokes my Dropbox access. Like, what? Why would you revoke my Dropbox assets? She says, well, you're going to leak stuff. It's like, no, I had no intention of leaking anything. I just wanted to make sure that we still have, like, a game that we're making. So, after a while, she just makes me a sound channel. And then she expects me to branch off into non-cry sound effects, which I have no interest and no knowledge of. So I say, okay, this is starting to get a little silly, so I'm going to take a step back from the project. And then we go to August of 2023. Yeah, it has to have been 2023. So we were hacked on our Dropbox by someone literally named Secure Your Dropbox Better. Isn't that great? Great name. Kind of wish they had actually released some of it. But yeah, we were hacked. Sleepy locked down the entire dev channel and deleted everything and says, well, I'll let you guys back in when we're ready. Turns out she was actually cherry-picking devs to just rejoin her. But only the devs she really thought would be loyal to her. And of course, I was not one of them. She didn't tell me that. She was deceitful about this entire thing. She basically said, we're going to make a dev shelter right now, and then I'll be back to assess the damage that this guy has done, and then we'll continue from there. So, about a month later, nothing has come of it. I understand she's traveling the world. She said she was in Japan. And so about February, I'd say the last day of February on 2024. Well, actually, this is August 2023 when the Dropbox leaked, but this is how long it's taken to get an official message from Sleepy saying, hey, the game is still being worked on, which it really isn't. Nobody's done anything for a while at this point. Maybe like a couple sprites, but they've all been vetoed by Sleepy. Some of my cries, but they've all been vetoed by Sleepy if they weren't up to her standards, you know. Then I come to realize it's February. Where is this message? So I go out to the general channel of the server on Discord and I say, hey guys, we're actually still working on this. We're sorry it's taking so long. That was basically a plea and a cry for help, saying, hey, no, this game is in danger of being canceled because we can't keep the captain at the helm of the ship. And in one of the resources below, you'll see there's a document, a Google document. That was made that very same day, over the course of a couple days, I believe. And then we launched that document, me and some other devs, mainly Cactus, and a couple others who will want to remain anonymous, but there's some of them have their names and their testimonials down there. So we released the document into the server, and we had the only moderator on our side, Crystal Marowak, I believe their name was. You're awesome if you're watching this, by the way. Basically, everyone was like, oh, well, it's fake news. And then Crystal Marowak is like, no, that's real. Everyone starts getting really panicky. Sleepy does damage control and starts deleting stuff soon after. And then we have to come to a decision. Are we going to keep Azurite, or are we going to cancel Azurite? So we decided we're going to try to keep it around, because it would be a waste if all that stuff, all those assets went to, like, no use. We have Korean forms, we have forms for Pokemon that don't really need them, like Combi, but that's another thing I'll get to later. We have like new megas, and of course we have 5 new types and a crystallization thing, which is just megas under a different name with a new type. So what we did is we said, we're going to make a battle simulator. And if this isn't done by next year, which now it's next year, and it's not anywhere close to being done, this project is ours, and we will take it. Anyone can use these assets as they see fit. All they need to do is give credit. Sleepy said sure, and then immediately starts turning on us. We were made out to be the bad guys. We were trying to like stir shit in her eyes. So that kind of didn't go anywhere. So about, I'd say, several months later, I forget exactly when I am not in the Discord server anymore. I left out of discuss at this next part. Someone comes in and starts taunting Sleepy, saying, why did you lie to your entire fan base? And her fan base is like piling on this guy. And then I speak up. And then I say, this person is not wrong. I was a dev. I should know. I know what's going on behind the scenes. You guys don't. So shut up and leave this person alone. Sleepy didn't like that. She absolutely abhorred that. She tried to cancel me in front of everybody. It still hurts to think about. She was like tearing into me, saying that my cries would not be used and that they were never planned to be used. She said, well, you're too volatile to have your cries being used. Well, that's not my fault. That's your fault for not trusting me. I can be a nice guy, but if you get on my bad side like you have been for the past 10 years, oh gosh, it's gonna get pretty nasty when we have conflict, right? You know, I don't want to cancel Sleepy, but like, good lord, this needs to be said. She is not a person you want to be working with. She just isn't. I can't believe I worked with that person for 10 years. 10 years is a long time. And now I don't have it. I'm 34. I was 24 when I started this project, or started working on it, and it's still not done. So I left the server out of disgust, made a Reddit post, and then I immediately was soon after banned from Pokemon Fangames on Reddit, so that's also got screenshots down there in the Imgur album in the description. So yeah, you can kind of tell by my voice, this is all pissing me off. So the other guys that were in that document I mentioned, that's down there, made a server to watch out the fallout from sorry, just the memories wiping my brain clean. It's not great. We were there to watch and make sure that everyone who wanted to be accounted for in the document was accounted for, and then we just kept the server up. So I need to make something very clear to you guys. Pokemon Azurite is not so much a game as it is a vanity project. This is Sleepy Jirachi's perfect little fan fiction that is just for her and her alone. So help me Arceus, if anyone else gets in her way, she will beat them down just to keep her image up. There. That's what needed to be said all this time. Like, never mind the fact she was an abusive boss as a project manager, and she's also just egotistical. She didn't really want to work on Azurite. All she ever did was like veto stuff and say, well, I'm the lead dev, so I can have a legendary on my team, and of course it's going to be Jirachi. We were going to have dev battles. Let's get into the scope of feature creep. How about that, shall we? We were going to have alternate shinies in addition to regular shinies. We were also going to have albino Pokemon, which are even rarer, and you can't boost their chances. You cannot boost them at all. So, like, you're lucky if you find one, sure, but also, that's massive undertaking. Like, it was up to Gen 5 at that point, maybe Gen 6 with some Pokemon, like, that's Gen 6. I remember they wanted to keep adding Pokemon, but they weren't sure where to cut it off. Like, you know, the project would balloon to something like Infinite Fusion or something like that. I would dare say the sprite work would probably bog down the game when it has to load everything in the Pokedex. Let's say you cheated everything into the game. Normal shiny, regular Pokemon, and then alternate shiny and albino. That's like half the game right there, just the graphics. So not only do you have all these Korean forms, new megas, new crystals, which crystals are new anyway, I'll get to that. So you have all these new forms, but you also have all the old Pokemons from generations 1 through 6. That's too many. And you have to manually change all the Pokemon. You can't just have an AI do this, which that's unethical anyway. But you can't just have AI do it. They'll mess it up. We tried. We tried to have AI, like someone, I didn't. I'm not a graphics guy, but like someone tried to have AI recolor all the Pokemon to be albino that they tried to put it in, and it did not work at all. So, another thing, we have 5 new types while I'm on the subject of feature creep. They are Light, Sound, Cosmic, Mystic, and Crystal. And some of those, like, well, at least Mystic is kind of redundant. That's just Fairy with extra steps. It's more like Magic, like Stage Magic, but yeah, it doesn't make any sense to have that. Cosmic is space. Light and Sound are pretty self-explanatory, but don't need to be a thing. And Crystal is a plot important type that, lo and behold, is kind of useless because it has no weaknesses, resistances, and nothing resistant or weak to it. So, yeah, completely neutral type. And that was just basically megas with extra steps. Mega Pokemon sometimes change type, you know, like Aggron will change from Rock Steel to Pure Steel. But, like, it just frustrates me. Why would you make something that has an extra type, maybe getting rid of an already established type in the canon games, like Mega Behem, for instance, Psychic Cosmic, I believe, or maybe Cosmic Mystic, I can't remember what it was. But, yeah, so if there was a Crystal one, it might even lose Psychic, because, like, that's what it is in the canon games. Why would you... It just frustrates me. Megas are better than crystals, and crystals are just like neutral damage for unresisted stab, and like that's so pointless. Why would you do this? Then we have like trainer customization, which is more minor, but like yeah, we have massive amount of trainer customization planned. They only had like one thing done for, I think her name was Jade, is the female trainer. and Jasper's the male trainer, I think. I can't remember. I don't really want to remember. Yeah, and not only that, we have some pretty serious allegations, and this makes me actually angry. Like, I remember seeing someone make porn of a character in the game. I don't remember the character's name, but like there's just some lady, some younger lady, and she appears to have a white liquid on her face, and it's like, good lord, can you keep it PG-13? This is Pokemon! And they're like, oh, well, it's just string shots. Like, that's not an excuse! Why would you do that? But it's just, there was so much going on with the game. And when I showed this to some people on another server, OrangeIslands.net server, yeah, the people there were absolutely disgusted. And they're like, well, Blade, are you sure that this could get any worse? And I'm like, oh, you sweet summer child, you say that someone's going to do a sex joke. But they actually did a sex joke, and everyone was just like, absolutely gobsmacked. That's putting it lightly. I can't really say much more about it because this is YouTube, and I don't want to get in any trouble. But, you know, this is just not appropriate for a Pokemon game. You don't do that. So, I have tried in the past several months to set the record straight. Wherever I see someone excited for Azure, I say, I'm sorry, this game has been canceled, because, I mean, their site doesn't even work until, like, today, when I went on to do this research for this video, and I see what was still there, and the site is back, because it's been gone for a while. It's a Wix site, and apparently they just reset it up today, so, I don't know if that's actually today they did it, but yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I can see Crystal Starmie and Weavile. I can see Guard Form Combi, which is like the worst thing ever. Yeah, that's another thing. Some of the stuff is just feature creep. They don't have anything of... It just occurred to me. I'm looking at the website right now, and they don't have some of the Pokemon we revealed over the years, like Frostite. I don't see it. I don't see Varamite, the little spider thing. I see some Megas here, like Mega Cherim, Behemoth. There's even fewer of them here. Okay, there is one new thing I've not seen. New art from Mega Shaman Landform? I don't know. It's just, they're not even trying anymore to seem like they're active. I don't know. It's just like, why would you trust yourself with a developer, let alone for 10 years, and then not get anything done? People want to play this game. It looks like there's good stuff in it. That's where I end this video. Why would you subject yourself to 10 years of agonizing slowness, glacially slow, I should add, and just like throw it all away just because this is like a fan thing that you're using as a vanity project? That's a good question, folks. I don't really have an answer for that. But if you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section saying what your experience with Azurite is. I'm sorry it had to end this way. As a former dev, I can like provide every receipt that you can probably think of. Probably not a mini, because we were trying to find a way to like get into the dev channel that Sleepy made for a shelter when the hacker happened, and we didn't get any screenshots of that because it had already been deleted when we went to go get them with someone on the inside. So just let me know what you think of this whole scenario. It's really too bad, and I really wish it hadn't come to this. But Azurite is never coming out. I'm sorry that you had to hear it from a former dev like me. Peace. Have a good one. Stay soggy.